Hello, first graders. Happy Monday. I hope everyone had a great weekend. This week, for our phonics and reading jobs, we are going to be investigating the long I sound. The long I sound. And it's been a little bit since we've done this, but if we can remember, long sounds say their name. So the long I sound is going to say I. All right, we are going to be looking at some patterns. Some of these are vowel teams, but some of them are just consonant patterns, but they're all going to make the long I sound this week. Why don't you go ahead and practice? I. All right, getting started. The first team that we are going to be looking at, or the first pattern, is just the letter I. Sometimes if you see a lonely I, it's not going to make the I sound. It's going to make the I sound. Our next pattern this week is the I consonant E. There's our friend Magic E, first graders. When we see Magic E at the end of a word with a vowel, we know it makes that sound long and it's going to say its name, I. Our next one is a vowel team of I-E. Its sound is going to be I. Your next pattern is I-G-H, and it is going to say I. And the last one is Y. Boys and girls, we have seen this one before. When our friend Y goes to the end of the word, a lot of the time he says the long I sound. Let's investigate some words with these long I patterns in them. The first word we are going to look at is pie. Pie. Do you see the pattern that says the long I sound in the word I, pie? Now's a good time, boys and girls, to make the point of how many letters are in the word pie. There are 3 letters in the word pie, but how many sounds are in the word pie? Let's tap them together. I, pie. There are only 2 sounds in this letter because all of our patterns are going to make one sound. And what is that sound, boys and girls? It's the long I sound. The next word we're going to look at is the word high. I fly the kite high in the sky. That is the pattern I-G-H, high. Our next word is fly. Fly. If I had wings, I could fly like a bird. Fly. And the last word we're going to look at is the word tie. Tie. I can tie my shoes. Tie. Do you see 2 words, boys and girls, that have the same long I pattern this week? The word pie and the word tie both have the I-E pattern. Let's keep reading. All right, boys and girls, here is the point where you may pause the video and read these words to yourself. Here's a hint. They all have, or a lot of them have, the long I sound. All right, if you have paused the video and read these words, I'm going to read them to you now. High, my, dries, sight, tie, try, bright, fly, lie, chief. Oh, that was a tricky one. Cries, hoped, field, and swimming. Did you catch those long I patterned words? Whisper read the sentence to yourself. My friend and I try to jump rope. My friend and I try to jump rope. Now, boys and girls, if we look closely at this sentence, it has an IE pattern there in my friend. But do you hear the long I sound in the word friend? We don't. So, boys and girls, when we come across tricky words like this, a good idea is to sound it out. If you think it should make the long I sound, try it. My friend and I try to jump rope. Does that make sense? No. So we're going to try it another way. My friend and I try to jump rope. If you have to investigate a word further and try it a couple times to figure it out, that's okay. That's being a super reader. Let's look at another sentence. The bird flew high up into the sky. Did you hear the long I sound in that sentence? The bird flew high up into the sky. All right, boys and girls, now it's time to look at our words to know this week. Our words to know. As I go through these words, I want you to think about what they mean. Word number 1, second. The boy is trying to tie his second sneaker. Second. Ball. She practiced until she could hit the ball well. Ball. Across. The runners dashed across the finish line. Across. Number 4. Head. He hit the ball with his head to make a goal. Head. Number 5. Heard. The children heard clapping at the end. Heard. Large. It was not too hard to ride up the large hill. Large. Cried. We can do it, cried the team. Now, boys and girls, this word can mean two different things. It can mean cried like a baby, or it can mean like the baby cried, or it can mean cried out like screamed or exclaimed. And the last word, should. The teacher said that she should try again. Now, should, boys and girls, is a suggestion. The teacher didn't tell her that she had to try again, but she said, you should try again. It was a suggestion. Should. Now, boys and girls, you can pause the video and write each of your word to know down on a piece of paper and draw a picture that's going to help you remember what the word to know means. All right, super readers, it's time for my favorite part. It's almost time to start reading. As we read our story today, I'm going to ask you to do two things. You have two reading jobs as we read. Reading detectives, we are going to investigate our story as we read. I'm going to ask you to make some smart guesses about the story. One of the smart guesses we are going to make is going to be to infer. It means to make a smart guess about the story or the characters using details from the story. So it's something that the author did not tell us, but I can figure it out. I can make a smart guess. It might be how the character feels, or it might be why the character did something. But I'm going to infer. I'm going to make that smart guess. We're also going to predict today, boys and girls. When you predict, you make a smart guess about what will happen next. So if you predict, you are saying, I know that this happened. Maybe this will happen next. Let's look at it together. So this is your story this week is The Kite from Days with Toad and Frog. We have looked at Toad and Frog before. We've read their stories before. And today we are going to read about The Kite. This is a fantasy story, boys and girls, which means that the events could not happen in real life. What about Frog and Toad could not happen in real life? One thing that I see is that Frog and Toad are wearing pants and jackets. Do frogs and toads in real life wear clothes? No, that's just one thing that I see. Let's look at this first page, boys and girls. I will read it to you. Frog and Toad went out to fly a kite. They went to a large meadow where the wind was strong. Our kite will fly up and up, said Frog. It will fly all the way up to the top of the sky, Toad said. Toad, said Frog. I will hold the ball of string. You hold the kite and run. Now, boys and girls, I'm going to infer. I'm going to make a smart guess on this page that Frog and Toad are friends. Did the author tell me in the story that Frog and Toad are friends? She didn't. Why do you think that I can say that Frog and Toad are friends? Maybe it's because they are flying a kite together. They are playing. So I think that Frog and Toad are friends. Now I'm going to make a prediction about what will happen next. On this page, Frog and Toad are planning to fly a kite. I predict that their kite will fly high in the sky because they went way up to the top and they're going to hold and run with the kite. And I know that's how you make a kite fly. So I predict that their kite will fly high in the sky. That's my smart guess. As you read, maybe you can investigate and see if my smart guesses were correct. All right, boys and girls, it's your turn. Time to read. I hope you have a great day and I hope you enjoy this story. See you next time.